Hey there! Last week Nancy and I were in Canada looking for the source of pudding stones, and this week we decided to just stay here in our hometown of Alpena. We came to the Besser Museum and we're at the fossil park here. It's the Wholesome Fossil Park. Wholesome's the name of the cement plant here in town. Used to be Lafarge, but they're kind enough to donate some fossils so people can come here and dig through them and don't have to ask to go into the quarry. So let's go take a look at it. One of the first things you'll see when you pull in the parking lot is this huge mural of what the Devonian period might have looked like back when these fossils were being formed. This was painted by a retired teacher named Judy Dolly, who's somebody that Nancy and I worked very closely with when we were teaching. And then over here we have a display of how concrete is made, so you can read up on that. And then there's some samples of the different materials used. And then over here is the completely free part of the fossil park. I think there's a couple different quarries that donate rock here, but I think Wholesome is the main one. And you're allowed to come in here anytime it's daylight and dig around. But there's also part behind this wall that's less picked over. So if you pay to go into the museum, you can see that. So we're going to go inside and find the executive director of the museum, and she's going to give us a tour around here and show you what you might see behind this wall. Well, this is Chris Witolski, and you're the director here, executive director.
Yes.
So show us around your awesome little park.
So we're so glad to have you here today because we are really proud of our fossil park. We teamed up with Wholesome and Specification Stones in 2012, so 12 years ago, to build a hands-on experience to introduce people to all the Devonian fossils that you can find in Northeast Michigan. So we always try to encourage people to start your experience here at the Besser Museum, and you can get your eyes trained on what you're looking for before you go to Rockport. We also provide our guests a map of all the other locations that you can go fossil hunting at. But more importantly, you get to go into our fossil park, hunt for fossils, and keep the fossils that you find. So one of the things that I love doing, Rob, is working with students. We put through about 800 kids a year, and many of them visit the fossil park. So we came up with some nice educational tools that we use for both students and general public. One of them was created quite a few years ago, and this is our ID board. So we've used this, we've taken it out to Rockport with some groups that we visited there, but it's at our front desk. So when visitors come in, we encourage them to look at what they're going to be finding. So the mural, which we already discussed, is painted by Judy Dolly. She's a local teacher, instructor, and artist. She spent about 100 hours studying what fossils have been found in Northeast Michigan. This is not exhaustive, but it is a good example of what a Devonian coral reef would have looked like. Then you go down here and you're seeing actual fossil samples like the brachiopods, or here's other examples of brachiopods, horn corals, favosite, branching coral. My favorite, the crinoid crown, but then the stem, it looks like a little pencil top or maybe a screw or bolt that was broken. And then of course our Petoskey stone, you find some tabulate corals. I have found trilobites in here, so you just never know what you're gonna find. What we do ask our students and our guests, and you'll see the signs, do not chip on the big boulders, do not take rocks from our rock park and chip on our concretions, only take the Devonian samples that you find. So another educational tool that we use for our kids is these two teaching kits. So when the kids come in, exactly what's on our board, they get to look through this. We talk about the time periods going back in time from the Ice Age to the Jurassic Park age to our Paleo period. So we tell kids these fossils are older than dinosaurs. Then we talk a little bit about what the Earth would have been like back then and our location close to the equator, and when the Earth was one landmass of Pangea, and why these Devonian fossils are spread all over the Earth. So what I learned in my study is Devonian actually came from the fact that these fossils were still first identified in Devon, England. And so we talk about that a little bit, but then we also talk about all of the coral reef over a period of time, became limestone. And in that limestone are all these great fossils. And for us, limestone is used to make cement. And cement goes into concrete. Concrete is the second most used substance in the whole entire world. And then we tell kids to be a good fossil hunter, you really have to train your eyes. That is going to be the best tool you have when you go out fossil hunting. So they get to open up the box and spend some time picking up these fossils, getting to touch them, feel them, look at them up close so that they can start seeing what these specimens look like. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, you can spend your whole day in the park and not find anything. So you can see the point of the horn coral kind of looks like a tornado. I love the two different sizes of the crinoid. You can see the symmetry of the 5-point star. Same with this. Then you have your brachiopods, all different kinds of samples of brachiopods. So you're looking for that. I like the stems of the crinoids. They would have went right there and they would have grown up kind of like a flower. That's why they got their nickname as sea lilies. But these are fun to find. These are the beads. You can see the individual ones that fell apart of the crinoid. So those are just samples that you are going to find in our fossil park. Now there is, again, some tools that you would need that we do not provide to our visitors. We provide to our students when they come here, but these are things that you're going to have to be mindful. So if you follow me, I'm going to take you into the park and show you the best way to fossil hunt and find a bunch of treasures. So, one of the things that you can bring with you when you come fossil hunting is a water bottle. We do have a clean station, and I encourage people and our students that when you find fossils and you want to like clean them off to know that you really have something good, take it over to our scrub station. There's water and toothbrushes that you can scrub it off. But water bottles or picks, any kind of tools like that, we do not provide. You are welcome to bring in like screwdrivers or little rock picks and a bag so that you can collect your fossils. But a water bottle is perfect, and I actually learned this trick from a kindergartner. So precious. He was trying to get one of his specimens that he was working on out of the park, and he said, just a minute, and he ran over to the water table and got a little bit of water and came back and put it on the dirt and was able to loosen up his fossil. Great trick. I've been using water bottles ever since with the school groups. So the other thing I tell people are they're not gonna like run up your leg and jump in your bag. You have to get down on the ground. And when you do, don't cast a shadow where you're hunting. So once you start looking around, you're gonna start like, here's something right there I just found. Here's a tiny piece too that you're seeing. Let me see. More here, more here. There's just little fossils like all over embedded. Another little piece right here. Yep, there's one of the crinoid beads. And here's like a little piece of branching coral. So some of them are smaller, but if you move over, like I said too, let me show you how to use the water bottle. Say if you're looking at this piece and you want to get it out, you just squirt a little bit of water around it. If you have your screwdriver or something, it'll just lift right up. These are fun to find. These are, depends what you call them. Some people call them fossil soup. Some people call them cemetery stones. It's just a lot of specimens that have been trapped in the matrix of the limestone.
I call those death plates.
Or death plates, there you go. Now this hill, Wholesome came in the fall and reseeded our fossil park. And so what was real fun is at the bottom of this hill, we have been finding huge brachiopods, like right here. See how I just like, my eye just caught that one right there. And here's another one. This is a different shape of a brachiopod. Some kids have been finding huge horn corals in here. This, you can see the crystallization here, and then the shape, that's probably a branching coral. So I tell people just keep walking around. Here's another one, another specimen of a fossil. Now I can't identify a lot of them, but I say use your phone or take them home, clean them up, go online. But just all embedded all through here. You just never know what you're gonna find. Here's another one. Here's another one. That's what I always like, just all over. So Rob, this is the place where people, you know, we encourage you to come to the Besser Museum and start your fossil hunting here. Like I said, you get ID charts, will help you find some things. You can take what you find, and if you don't find anything, we have an amazing gift store where you can go in and buy polished Petoskey stones or mystery rock bags or books on fossil hunting. And don't forget to leave without that little piece of paper that will tell you other places to go hunt for fossils in Northeast Michigan.
Well, I've been talking to Chris. Nancy's been over here digging. What'd you find?
Found a lot of little things, but here's just a brachiopod.
It's a nice complete one.
Yeah.
All right, time to do a little digging of my own. Nancy.
Wasn't that what I was supposed to do with this one?
Oh. That didn't take long to unearth something pretty cool. It's a very nice brachiopod. Let's go scrub it up. Got the little scrubbing station over here. Complete with toothbrushes. Don't have to use Nancy's today. This would be easier to do with two hands, but I think I'm getting the job done. Look at that. And that right side really held on there. Left side's broken a little bit, but not bad. That's a brachiopod. Pretty nice one. Got a little matrix still on it there. And then I could see some stuff in this one. I think that's a brachiopod right there. That's one, I think. This is just from a little tiny hole I dug. Well, you saw me dig it. That might be one. Let's take that stuff over to the wash station and see what we've got. Yeah, look at that. There's one there, something here.
Pretty good at that. You should do dishes more often at home. Just kidding, he does.
Needs a little more chipping away at. Sometimes what I do is I'll put these, I'll get them, soak them for a little bit, then I'll put them in the freezer and take them out and just thaw them and freeze them, and it'll pop that stuff off the same way it does in nature. There's another one. Broken down there, but this side's intact. Whoops. And then there's this little guy. There's literally a pile of fossils over there. Well, I just dug for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I found this stuff. So let's see what we got here. This first one's a horn coral. Nice horn coral. I think the rest are brachiopods. That one is. That one is. What's this little guy? Yep. Yep. That might be a lump of nothing. I think that's nothing. And I'm not sure what this one is. What do you think, Nance?
I'm not sure either.
Yeah. So, a couple mystery rocks. It's fun to have a mystery. And then some brachiopods and a horn coral. So, there's a lot of stuff here. In a short time you can have a bunch of fossils, so cool place to come check them out. I'm just walking back from the wash station, and I notice this big rock here is pretty much all Petoskey. I don't think they probably want you taking one quite that big home with you, but that is all Petoskey, and I could pick it up, but I won't. So this is the biggest Petoskey stone I have ever seen, and I've seen big rocks with Petoskey in it, but not where it's pure Petoskey. So every bit of that is Petoskey stone. It's like one giant coral head. This came right out of Lafarge Quarry. Chris said she saw it there when they were setting this thing up, and she said we have to have that for the museum. So they hauled it here. It's, I forgot how many tons she said it is, but several tons. Well, all right, now that we've seen the rocks, tell us what else you have to offer here.
So Besser Museum has been around since 1966. We have two levels inside the museum. We're art, history, and science. So we have 3 art galleries. We have a huge history exhibit. We have animals, fish, and wildlife in our lower part of the museum. We have the only planetarium in northern Michigan. We have a Foucault pendulum, and we have a mini Greenfield village in our backyard. We have a Great Lakes Fisheries Heritage exhibit that showcases a 1928 wooden commercial fishing vessel and a retired DNR Chinook research vessel.
Well, there's a lot to see here then.
There is a lot to see. We're open Monday through Friday, or it's Saturdays too, excuse me, from 10 to 4. And so fossils and fossil hunting is just one thing that we offer to people that visit the Besser Museum. And so we just really encourage people to, again, come visit the museum and start your fossil hunting here, because Besser Museum really does rock.
Thanks a lot for showing us around. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.